Sylvia was brought to the United States when she was 2 years old. In Mexico, there were days that her parents could not be able to eat in order to provide her with diapers and formula. Her father made the executive decision to immigrate to the United States, while periodically sending money to his wife and his daughters. But after 6 months, he called Sylvia's mother and told her that he couldn't bear being in another country while not being able to see his daughters grow up. So he convinced Sylvia's mother to migrate with him and go to the United States. And here she grew up. She is currently attending the University of Texas at Austin, and she hopes to get her PhD in clinical psychology and have an opportunity for one day to become a child psychologist. And she graduated from Manor High School last year. She met others that were in her similar situation. She says that sometimes a person who you least expect turns out to be undocumented. And she estimated that 10% of Manor High School was undocumented. Now, 10%, you might not think that's a lot, but let's just do the numbers. If there are around 2,000 kids in Manor High School, that means that almost 200 are undocumented. That is a lot. So how can Sylvia change her legal status? How can she take control of her life? Sorry, we're not control. Well, let's just say Lisa was undocumented. Well, Bart, being older, is most likely going to be undocumented as well. But in several cases, the younger sibling was born and is a United States citizen. So there's a possibility that Maggie can file Lisa and Bart and make them citizens. If Maggie is 21 years or older and files these forms, presents this evidence, and gives this fee, just to apply. Keep that in mind. But what if you don't have siblings? Well, if a dreamer gets married to a spouse, if a dreamer gets married, they can file through their spouse. Again, if they fill out this form, present this evidence, and give a fee, they will be able to apply. But what we need to see is the fine print. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website only has 2 options: inside of the United States through lawful admission, or outside of the United States. Meaning that if they want to continue their process, Marge is going to have to go back to her birth country and stay there until a result, which can usually span between 3 months to 1.5 years. So these individuals basically have no way of gaining citizenship and being legalized. And this frustrated me and made me so angry. And I was like, why isn't anybody doing something? And then I realized, well, I'm somebody. So for my senior project, I decided to create a scholarship for dreamers specifically targeted in Manor ISD. Being a college student, being a senior myself, I was realizing how expensive college actually was. And I wanted to help the people that I had grown up with, and my friends and my neighbors. Thus, Make Dreams Reality was born. So I knew I needed 2 things. I needed a place to store it, and I knew I needed a way to raise money, because I knew that money didn't fall off of trees. So I started thinking. I was really intrigued with business, and also by the I Love Boobies campaign by the Keep Abreast Foundation, which both raised money and raised awareness at the same time. So I decided to use this concept for my scholarship, making bracelets that would both raise money for my scholarship and raise awareness of the DREAM Act. So I knew I needed money. I wanted $300 for 300 bracelets, and I achieved my goal through these generous organizations, St. Joseph's Church, Good Luck Grill, and BLGY Architects. And my plan was to get this money, buy bracelets, and then sell them for a profit, and that would be my scholarship. So I had money. Now, I actually needed a place to store my money, which was actually the hardest part of my project. I had a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, and a plan E. Let's go through them. So plan A, the District Scholarship Fund. I talked to the district, and unfortunately, because of the political aspect of my project, they decided not to be affiliated with me. This rejection, although it burned at first, it was good for me, so I knew that, that not everybody would want to help me. And because of the subject of my project, I knew that I would have some limitations and obstacles. So I went to Plan B, the local scholarship fund. And after talking to them, they told me that they weren't in a position to hold my money, so I went to Plan C, Austin Community Foundation, which deals with scholarships all the time, but the way that they deal with it is that they have donations from businesses, and they keep them in the fund, and then they send them off. What I wanted to do was kind of different, meaning that I wanted the donations to come in, I wanted to take the money out, invest it in the product, then put the money back in. And so the logistics were different, so I went to Plan D, which was a local bank. And after talking to them, I learned that the money coming in would be considered income for me, meaning that there would be certain tax implications that, frankly, I didn't really understand, and I was running out of time, so I went to Plan E, which was the Maynard New Tech Activity Fund. And I was able to store my money through a community service organization called Key Club. So now I had my money, finally, so I could order my bracelets. And my bracelets came in exactly a day after my 18th birthday, so it was like one of the best birthdays that I ever had. So now I had the bracelets, and I needed to start hustling.
Getting everyone else to hustle for you, too.
So I started hustling through Key Club in Maynard New Tech, ULI, which is a University Leadership Initiative. It's a group that advocates for the DREAM Act in the University of Texas. College Forward in both Maynard High School and Maynard New Tech, and Latinas Leading Tomorrow in Maynard High School. So now I needed to start actually focusing on my actual scholarship. And I realized that I could not confirm if they were undocumented or not because of the lack of undocumentation. I don't really know what I was thinking. But I realized that I could, the requirements of my scholarship could be characteristics of Dreamers. So I came up with the criteria. They would have to be a graduating senior in Maynard ISD, be pursuing a degree, show financial need, be first-generation college student, obtain a 2.75 GPA, and most importantly, no Social Security number was required. And so I made my application. There was basic contact information, a place to compare the financial positions of each of my applicants, and just to confirm if they were first-generation college students or not. And because my scholarship was only going to be a $500 scholarship, I wanted to keep it simple. So I had 2 short essays. One of the topics was, what is your dream? Which would give me an insight on, their personality. And then there was, what educational challenges have you or your family faced? Which would give me an insight on their hardships and maybe potentially their undocumented status. So now I needed one place online where people could know what Make Dreams Reality was, download the application, and most importantly, know what I was doing and know what I was advocating for, which was the DREAM Act. I also created a Facebook page that allowed me to advertise. Now at first, I had text like updates, but those didn't really work out or get any exposure, so I started taking pictures of people and tagging them, which increased my exposure dramatically. And I also needed to get creative with the way I advertised because I just didn't want to get it boring. I didn't want to have it be a boring scholarship, and also I was targeting it towards teenagers, so they have a very short attention span. So this is one of the examples. It says, Make Dreams Reality bracelets are on sale tomorrow. For only $3, you can make a dream come true and look smoking hot. Gentlemen, impress the ladies. Ladies, make your enemies jealous. Enemies, stop being evil and do something good for the community. And my scholarship opened on April 30th, and giving the applicants 2 weeks for the closing date, which was May 11th, which was actually last Friday. And the scholarship committee will have 2 weeks until the notification date, which is on May 26th. We had 4 applicants, 2 from Maynard New Tech and 2 from the regular high school, which I thought this was amazing because I had only started advertising in April, and I know that a lot of annual scholarships don't have that many, but this is probably because it was easy, but still. And so once a winner is decided, I will give them what is called an installment form. They will fill it out, giving me the address of their college financial aid office and proof that they are enrolled in the college. I will write a check. I will write the letter saying basically how much is enclosed and where the money is coming from, and I will mail it to the college financial aid office. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the easiest part of my project. Who knew that giving away money was easier than storing it? And so my scholarship helps, but it doesn't really fix the problem. The DREAM Act is a bipartisan bill, meaning that both Democrats and Republicans alike support it. But some conservatives refuse to grant amnesty before securing the borders. First of all, I would like to say that no matter how high a fence you build, there will always be a ladder that is taller. If American employers keep hiring undocumented workers, they will come. And lastly, your stance on illegal immigration doesn't even matter. Amnesty is forgiveness for wrongdoing. These individuals did nothing wrong. They had no control over their situation. We can't keep ignoring